All right, everyone. This is just going to be a short video on how to interview your client. Because what we will do next week on Tuesday, after all the presentations, we will contact your businesses to set up a time to talk to you about their business and what their ads are going to be like. And so, please take notes. Take notes. Okay, so please do that. Not gonna be a quiz over or anything like that, but taking notes will help you and help your group in writing these questions because I'm not gonna give you questions. I'm gonna give you what you should ask them and like the types of questions, but it'll be up to your group to actually make the questions, and that'll be what you guys will do on Tuesday and Wednesday and until you guys interview your clients. Okay. So, why are we doing this? What is the point? In order for you to understand your clients' wants and needs, you need to understand the business they are in and what they are looking for from the advertisements you're going to produce. And asking the right questions will help out with this. It's not enough just to create an ad, but you need to know what the business is doing. The more you know, the better you can help them. And so, doing that research on maybe their business or their types of businesses. Um, if you're doing like Staker Furniture, you might want to do research on furniture businesses in general, seeing what some of the other commercials are doing, what the other advertisers are doing, and especially like small town ones. There was just a place in Cedar Rapids that's been open for 125 years, and they closed down. They were done. So I mean, it's a different world out there than what you guys are probably thinking, and especially being in a small town, you need to help your clients get as much business as you can. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna set up an interview. You're gonna tell them when you call them, you'll have one person call them, and they need to be probably the most courteous, nice person in your group because you're not going to call the head of this business and just willy nilly say this. You're going to introduce who you are. You're going to introduce that you're in my class. They know that you're going to be calling. They just don't know when exactly. So, give them a brief. You agreed to do this project. Blah blah blah, and then ask them when would be a good time for them to meet. You might want to remind them that this is your class time and that you can come down there or they can come up here and you can interview wherever they are. And also decide where you're meeting, whether here at the school or at their business. If they're going to meet you at the school, then I would go down to the main office and wait for them and then take them somewhere where you guys can talk, whether that be a lunchroom, the gym lobby might work, the library might work. And if we're having, yeah, so some of those places will work for this. You can tell that it shouldn't take no more than about 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe. Last year, most of them took around that long, depending on what the business wanted and what they talked about as well. Some of them know advertising and they know how to do it, and they were in marketing classes, and some have never done anything with advertising, so their knowledge it could be limited or it could be extensive. You don't know. Once you set up a time, so let's say on Tuesday you call and they can't meet you till Friday, so then you spend the next couple days starting to actually write these questions and getting ready for them. And that is the next step. The first type of questions you're going to ask, because there's about three different types of questions, is going to be about the business itself. These are kind of the easy questions that they can answer very quickly. And the reason you start with these type of questions is that you want to make them comfortable. If you watch any interview of any kind, even for like a job interview, stuff like that, you don't ask, the hard hitting questions right away. You kind of give them a little, get them comfortable, get them loosened up, and they'll talk to you more. Don't have yes or no questions either. Those are, I mean, and if they say yes or no, then have them expand on it. Don't settle for an easy answer from them. Okay. Some things you can talk about are what do they do, the positives and negatives for their business, stuff like that. For you to make advertisements, you need to understand how your client sees his or her business. If you go into Pizza Palace or if you go into State Farm, you might see it one way, but to them, they might see it another way, and so you have to work with that. The second type of questions deal with the audience that your client would like to bring in. This is where all of the demographics we have talked about come into play. You have the information from Traer, but you might want some information about Tama County in general. Maybe they want to advertise to a certain group, and there's a huge percentage of those people could be down in Tama Toledo. They could be over in Gladbrook or Rhinebeck. They could be in Dysart. Or maybe even in Blackhawk County. Maybe you want to try what Dysart does, and Dysart does it very well. Is target people in Cedar Falls, Waterloo, and give them the small town charm, and if your team thinks that you can get business from outside of town, if it works, more people live there, more people see it, so you could get a chance to get some of those people, draw some of those customers in. So this one's about the clients. The third type of questions are about the advertisements themselves. Ask them about previous advertising campaigns that they've had. Maybe they've been good, maybe they've been bad, and just kind of get a history of what maybe they've tried, and so maybe you can do something different or show them something different. Um, Regarding maybe different ways that they can advertise. Instead of on the radio that no one listens to, maybe they go to Pandora, or they do some of those online places versus TV or radio or print. Maybe, the newspaper ad that a lot of these people buy every week. That was my phone. That a lot of these people buy every week, and they just do it just because they've always done it. Is it really working for them? And would advertising somewhere else, would that be a better option for them? And so you will ask them about what they've done, and then ask them what they want highlighted within the ad. Last year we had Steger Furniture. They wanted to advertise a big sale coming up, and so that's what the group did. Wannell's Hardware, they wanted the U.S. Cellular part advertised, not Wannell's itself. And so, you want to ask them what do they want in the ad? You have to tailor it to them. You might have this great idea, but if they don't want that, then that's not what you're going to give them. That's not what they wanted. You will also ask them if they have an advertising budget. And we don't need direct numbers. They don't have to get out their accounting stuff. They can just kind of give you a ballpark estimation of what they have. And if they don't have one, that's fine. And maybe you can help them kind of get one. And maybe say, and most of the time, 1% of the people who look at an ad usually buy it. And so if you can make them money with that 1%, then you're golden. So, after you write the questions, you will get the list approved by me. Please use a Google Doc. I think that is key. I think using this Google Doc is key because then you can share it with me and we can have kind of a back and forth conversation even if we don't meet in class. Okay? And I will be asking you to do everything in Google Drive and sharing it with me that way. And you might even just create a folder for your business and then just share it with me. So then that way I have it and we can talk about that on Tuesday, Wednesday as well. Okay? I will help you get your list in tip-top shape. Sometimes the way you word a question can change everything. There was, excuse me, there was an example I saw online Or instead of saying, what is your budget, you ask how much is a new client worth to you. And so if you can, and so maybe you can advertise that much because let's say furniture store. Well, if they get one person into their store, that's probably $1,000 to $1,500 gain for the most part. And so if it costs a couple hundred to advertise to get that one person in. Is it worth it? Is it worth spending that money to get money? You should have probably about 15 to 20 solid questions. And like I said, I will help you with these. Do not rush through them. If you know that if you're gonna go talk to your business on Wednesday or Thursday, don't wait till the last minute. Start right away. Get them done. Work on them at home. Share this with everyone in your group so they can all write questions. Okay? It's a group process, and it needs to be that way. Step 3 is the interview day. Dress nicely. Jeans are okay for this one. No athletic shorts, no sweatpants. Dress like it's November, actually. Okay, wear regular pants. Wear a nice shirt. And look good. First impressions are everything. Last year we had a group that did not make a good first impression, and it kind of hurt them overall. And on the flip side, we had a group that made a great first impression with great questions, and that business really loved working with that group, and that person actually came from like Waterloo to come down and watch these advertisements. We were gonna Skype it. He was nice enough to come down in person. Take someone to record a conversation with. Use your iPad. There's probably a ton of apps. You probably already have one on your iPad that can record it. It doesn't. It doesn't have to be video. It can be just audio. Okay, I only need the audio. And then you can put that in Google Drive, and then you can also share that with me, or you can just email it to me, and I can put it in that folder for you as well. Because if you share it with me, I can put stuff in it, and then you can see it as well. All right, that is it. Start working on these questions, and on Tuesday we will call our businesses. If your group needs to come in on Monday, if you're watching this on Friday or in the weekend, let me know. I will be here and I'll be more than willing to help you out. All right, thanks. Bye.